video is long overdue. I missed you guys. I feel like I haven't seen you or filmed or heard from you guys on my YouTube family in weeks. In case you don't follow me on other social media, on Snapchat I've been traveling. Usually if I'm taking a break, it's because I'm traveling, but I'm back. I'm back and I'm better. And I'm gonna be showing you guys some inexpensive alternatives to expensive products. But I should give a disclaimer, just because the product is cheaper than the dupe I'm showing, it does not mean it's a drugstore product. Sometimes the drugstore does not always have dupes for expensive products, but the idea is to show you guys that you can get a cheaper, less expensive priced version of some really high-end products out there. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with one of my favorite foundations. This is a full coverage foundation. If you don't like full coverage foundations, keep moving. You're not gonna like this product. The Marc Jacobs Remarkable is about as close to a full concentrate as it gets. Like, I rarely ever wear this foundation on its own because the coverage is so heavy. The one thing that I don't like about this foundation is it does transfer. Okay, so I love the way it feels on the skin. It's velvety, it's silky, but it transfers really bad. If you want that same look, but you don't want to pay Marc Jacobs price for it, for about $15 less, you can get the exact same coverage, you can get the exact same look and feel. This foundation does not transfer, it does not settle into smile lines once you put it on. It's done. That is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I feel like this is probably like every girl's holy grail. I feel like every woman should have a light coverage foundation, a BB cream, tinted moisturizer. Every girl should have a light coverage, a medium coverage, and a full. When it comes to these two, this is as full as it gets. These foundations are so heavy that it's almost kind of like using a pure concentrated pigment. Although they're both in the same high-end range, this one you can actually get for $15 less, and some people just don't want to use Marc Jacobs, so there's an alternative. The Marc Jacobs Genius Gel Foundation will run you about $48, not counting tax. So after you pay for tax, and if you order online, you're probably gonna pay for shipping, you're looking at an over $50 foundation, which in my opinion, I'm definitely one of those people that will splurge on complexion products, but that's expensive. That's a lot of money. $48. It is a gel formula and it's supposed to be anti-aging and long wearing and blah, blah, blah. I'll raise you your $48, okay? And I got you something for $10 from the drugstore. This one is from Black Opal. It is a True Color Pore Perfecting Foundation. When I tell you they are almost identical in so many different ways, except I feel like these foundations are not the most long wearing on my skin type because I'm oily. So this is kind of one of those foundations that I would only wear like during the day when I want to wear a full face of makeup, but I don't want necessarily something that's got like 8-hour plaster. Do you know what I mean? If you're a fan of those types of primers that are kind of like milky and nourishing on the skin, then you probably really liked the Marc Jacobs Invisible Undercover. Honestly, I feel like out of the entire Marc Jacobs line, this was probably the most meh product for me. It just didn't do anything miraculous, at least not for my skin type. So what I would do is I would bounce right on over to the Too Faced section and I would try the Hangover RX because this one is actually 1 ounce for that $45, and the Too Faced Hangover Primer is actually 1.35 for $32. So and honestly, I've compared them, I've tried them both. These work really well, I feel, for more dry skin types. If my skin's not really dry from like acne medicine, it just doesn't do anything miraculous for me, okay? I need something that's going to be a little bit more succifications in my T-zone area, and these are more for like dry, normal skin types in order for you to like really see a miraculous difference. But anyway, needless to say, the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer is constantly being compared to this one from Marc Jacobs, and personally, I actually feel like this one performs slightly better. Like I feel how it is improving my skin when I wear this, and that's probably why they call it Hangover RX, because it's almost kind of like replenishing on the skin. I really do feel like this product performs the way that it says it does. The Marc Jacobs concealer pen is great, but it'll run you about $39. And there's really not a ton of product in here. This is less than an ounce, so you get 0.08. It's not something that you're gonna be packing on for tons of coverage, so it probably would get you a long way. However, Pure Cosmetics also has a pen concealer, and it pretty much performs the exact same. Now, both brands, I will say, as amazing as I feel like the formula is, could add a couple more shades, but you do also have to keep in mind that if you're using this under eye, you're probably using it to highlight. So they don't necessarily have to be as extensive as a foundation, for example, if that makes sense, because you can kind of get away with using something that may not be your exact skin tone. Okay, you can go a couple. You got a little. It's a little more forgiving, if that makes sense. I'm not excusing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing. I'm just saying for highlighting, obviously it's going to be lighter than your skin tone anyway. So the great thing about the one from Pure is this one is $23. You'll get about 0.12 ounces of product in this one, so you actually get more product for less moolah. And another way you can save some money on Pure Cosmetics is by using my discount code, because you know I got you. You know I got you. Okay, so the Air blushes from Marc Jacobs, they're cute. They're real cute. They'll run you $42. And I kind of feel like, as much as I like blush, you can afford to save a few coins on some blushes. It's blush, you know? Some people don't even wear blush. Let me tell you something. Out of all the formulas and finishes that I've tried, I honestly kind of feel like Milani is coming through all the way through as the closest dupes to these blushes. They're almost they feel the exact same. Okay, this is Luminoso, which is, on me, it's like basically a highlight because it's like peach. And this is the Air blush in the shade Lines and Last Night. Wait, does that mean what I'm thinking? So anyway, I mean, dog. Okay. So on my fingerprint, you're probably thinking, okay, they don't look that close. But honestly, on darker skin, like these two blushes would look the exact same on me. They would look like a highlight. They must kind of have like a really buttery, really creamy finish. But I feel like you can afford, I really feel like you can afford to save the coins on blushes. I do. This one is in the shade Kink and Kisses. So this is more of your pink. And honestly, I do have to say Milani's blushes pick up a lot easier. These they're a little bit more subtle, which could be a good or a bad thing. Some people just don't like pigment packed blushes, and that's okay. Totally fine. The Milani Dolce Pink, these two are pretty identical. So I don't have dupes for all their blushes, but I would say as far as like the formula, the way that the blushes feel, and the finish, Milani kind of comes pretty close, Unless you have like a severe allergy to like a specific ingredient and you just have to spend a ton of money on that one eyeliner that does not have that stupid ingredient that you're allergic to, I just don't really feel like there's a point. Nothing, in my opinion, screams revolutionary eyeliner that I would be willing to spend more than, I'm talking about pencils, by the way. I am talking about pencils. Oh, I just don't see myself spending more than like 25 bucks for a pencil eyeliner. I just don't see the point. The Marc Jacobs highlighter eye crayon, why is this name so long? It is their eyeliner pen. It's one of their top selling products. I will admit it glides on super buttery. The black is one of the blackest that I found, but honestly, L'Oreal Infallible Silk Kiss-Me, really? Here's L'Oreal on the left. Here's L'Oreal. Here's Marc Jacobs. Is there anything else to discuss? I will say that Marc Jacobs liner comes in a lot of different colors. L'Oreal has like, I've seen their purple, I think they have a couple teal greens, purple, some blue. They have like a gray. They have colors, but they don't have nearly as many as Marc Jacobs. So if you're looking for something that is more color extensive, then check out the Urban Decay Baked Liners. Those are pretty good too. I've got some brush dupes for you guys, and I'm really excited because I worked really hard on these. Brushes are hard. Brushes are really difficult, but you know what? I found some what I feel are good alternatives. One of them is one of my favorite brushes. One of my all-time favorite foundation brushes. The Face One brush from Marc Jacobs is $48. That's steep, girl. That's steep, okay? There are brushes that look like this, but there are not a lot of brushes that perform like this. I wanted to find a cheaper alternative, and you know what? I realized that I already have one that I've been using for years. This is the e.l.f. powder brush. I know that they call this a powder brush, but it works bomb for liquid foundations. It is the perfect density. It gives you there's just something about a brush that spreads out. It just allows me to really buff, because the tighter a brush is, the more coverage you get, the less it's easier to blend. And I like a brush that lets me both pack on the foundation and blend it out at the same time. I gotta be able to do both. But the e.l.f. powder brush is $6, girl. Like, and it performs, honestly, the exact same. I don't know how e.l.f. gets these brushes to be so freaking soft, but the ones with the little black handle are bomb. The Lock It setting powder brush from Kat Von D. Actually, I would not use this for setting powder. I think that I would either use this for blush, or I would probably apply contour or bronzing. And needless to say, you can use brushes however the hell you want, okay? This one is gonna run you $38. Very, 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 very soft. It's super fluffy. It is a very, very, it's a really nice brush. I just like touching it. I probably should not do that. I found this one from Real Techniques. I literally picked this up today from Ulta. They look the exact same. The exact same! And this one from Real Techniques is so soft. You get the same amount of movement. They almost feel like the exact same brush. Like the Kat Von D one is slightly softer, but not enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna hit that extra $20 for, no, they're the same brush. They're the same, they're pretty much the same brush. The bronzing brush from Marc Jacobs was a brush that I was using religiously for a couple months, but I kind of stopped because although I do like the way that this brush performs, it is so dense and the bristles are so tight and not really all that movable. I felt like when I was bronzing around my forehead, it was like kind of taking off some of the product. So I just felt like it was just a lot of brush for me. It was just a lot of brush, okay? So, funny enough, I wasn't even looking for a dupe for this brush, and I found the Sephora Pro Featherweight Powder Brush today. This thing is so, I just like doing this to my brushes. I just like, it is so soft, and look how easily it moves. Look how easily it moves versus this one. It's a lot more stiff. There's no movement, okay? So Sephora is giving us movement. She's giving us body, you know? And Marc is she's stiff as board. She's just stiff, girl. I have not used this brush. I just picked this one out today. They literally feel like the exact same brush. The exact same brush. This one is actually softer. So I kind of feel like this is what will help you get more blendability around the hairline with a bronzer. Whereas this one is gonna give you more coverage, but because it is so thick, it might take off some of your liquid or cream foundations if you're wearing them. Just definitely keep your eye on it and play with it a little bit. This is a $78 brush. That's expensive for a tool. This is a $78 brush. This one from Sephora is $40. I feel like that is a brush that's worth $40. With the amount of hair you get in this, it's very, very, very thick. It's very dense. They both are giving me the exact same vibe, and I just have no doubt that they would perform the same. I really don't see why they wouldn't, like, unless this one just sheds like crazy or it's just an all-around cheap brush. I think that with brushes, tools are a little unique because it's how long they last that will really show you how much a product is really worth. But as far as performance goes, all of these products, in my opinion, perform just as close to the dupe, if not the exact same. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful and got some new things that you wanted to try. If you are here, okay, and you reached the end of this video, why don't you just check out some of my previous videos after watching this one, and of course after thumbsing up this one as well, and subscribing. I know you already are subscribed. So anyway, so right here we did a nice little chat about Mr. Marc Jacobs himself. We had a nice little discussion. Check that out. And in this video, I wore makeup I tested 24-hour makeup. I tested a bunch of different makeup products that had 24-hour makeup claims, and I put it to the test and wore it for 24 hours. Can you believe I did it? I can't sometimes either. Check out that video, and thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!